Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's reshaping how enterprises operate across Europe. We're talking about generative AI enterprise insights and automation, with a specific focus on what's happening in Amsterdam as we head into 2026. Sam, this feels like a pivotal moment for European businesses, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Alex. And the timing couldn't be more critical. We're at this fascinating intersection where enterprises need to adopt cutting-edge AI technology while simultaneously preparing for the EU AI Act enforcement that kicks in next year. Amsterdam has become this interesting case study. It's not just about innovation, it's about innovation within regulatory guardrails.
Right. And those guardrails are no joke. Before we dig deeper, let's set the stage. ChatGPT's at 400 million users globally, and 74% of business leaders now see AI as a strategic priority. But here's the question that keeps executives up at night. How do you actually deploy this stuff responsibly? What's the gap between wanting to use AI and knowing how to use it correctly?
The gap is enormous, frankly. Most organizations are still stuck in the chatbot phase. Let's deploy ChatGPT and see what happens. But what we're seeing in forward-thinking companies, especially in Amsterdam, is the shift toward actual AI agents. These aren't just conversational interfaces, they're autonomous systems that can manage complex workflows, pull real-time data, and make recommendations without human intervention at every step.
So what's the actual difference? I mean, on the surface they might sound similar, but you're saying there's something fundamentally different about this agent-based approach.
Huge difference. An AI agent has three critical capabilities that a chatbot doesn't: autonomy, contextual learning, and deep integration with your enterprise infrastructure. A chatbot answers questions. An agent analyzes your market trends, generates quarterly reports, flags financial anomalies, and proposes strategic actions, all while you're sleeping. Gartner Data shows agentic AI adoption is up 156% year over year, and organizations are reporting 40% efficiency gains in operational workflows.
40%? That's not incremental improvement. That's transformative. Let's talk about one concrete example that really resonates: automated reporting. I know from the data that analysts spend about 12 hours per week on report generation alone. That's a massive opportunity cost.
Exactly. And here's what's changed with GenAI. It doesn't just speed up one step of reporting, it automates the entire pipeline. Data collection, synthesis, narrative generation, visualizations, distribution. The financial services firms we're seeing do this right are going from days of turnaround to minutes. Deloitte's research shows European enterprises with AI automated reporting are seeing 65% faster decision cycles. That's not just efficiency, that's competitive advantage.
But Sam, I imagine that with that kind of power comes real responsibility, especially in heavily regulated sectors. You mentioned the EU AI Act coming into full enforcement in 2026. How should enterprises be thinking about compliance right now?
This is where a lot of organizations are getting nervous, and rightfully so. The EU AI Act categorizes AI applications by risk level. Most enterprise chatbots? Minimal risk. But if you're using AI for hiring decisions, credit scoring, or healthcare diagnostics, you're in high-risk territory, and the compliance requirements are substantial.
What does substantial actually mean in practical terms? Are we talking about documentation, audits, specific governance structures?
All of that, plus continuous monitoring. High-risk applications require extensive documentation, AI impact assessments, and built-in human oversight mechanisms. For SMEs especially, this can feel overwhelming. But here's the thing. Organizations that approach this systematically now, rather than scrambling in 2026, will have a massive competitive advantage. They'll have cleaner architectures, better governance, and they won't be caught flat-footed by enforcement actions.
So the smart move isn't to wait and see. It's to start architecting your AI systems with compliance in mind from day one. That's a mindset shift for a lot of organizations that are used to moving fast and breaking things.
Exactly, and this is where frameworks like EtherLink's AI Lead Architecture Framework come in. It's designed specifically to help enterprises build AI systems that are both sophisticated and compliant. You're not choosing between innovation and responsibility, you're architecting them together from the foundation.
Let's make this concrete. If I'm an enterprise leader in Amsterdam or anywhere else in Europe, and I want to implement AI agents for workflow automation, what's my first move?
First, audit where you actually have inefficiencies. Not every process needs AI. Look for those repetitive, high-volume tasks, like reporting, data synthesis, anomaly detection. Second, map which of those tasks fall into the high-risk category under the EU AI Act. Third, start with a pilot project using a framework that builds in governance from day one, not as an afterthought.
And I imagine that Amsterdam's role as this hub of innovation and regulatory excellence is actually helpful here. There's probably a lot of institutional knowledge about how to balance these things.
Absolutely. The Dutch regulatory environment has always been thoughtful about technology adoption. And because enterprises there are grappling with these questions early, they're building best practices that other European companies are learning from. It's become this natural innovation laboratory.
One thing I want to circle back to, you mentioned that 74% of business leaders see AI as a strategic priority. But I'd bet the number actually implementing sophisticated AI systems is way lower. What's the disconnect?
It's the difference between intention and execution. Everyone wants to be AI-driven, but execution requires clear governance, integration with existing systems, and understanding the regulatory landscape. A lot of organizations don't know where to start. They hear about ChatGPT, they see the hype, but they don't have a systematic framework for deployment.
So when you talk about systematic frameworks and governance, you're really talking about maturity. Organizations need to mature their AI capabilities intentionally, not just bolt things on.
Precisely. And that's where strategic retreats or focused planning sessions can actually accelerate that journey. When leadership teams step back and think systematically about their AI transformation strategy, map their compliance obligations, and design their architecture holistically, they move faster and with less risk. It's counterintuitive. Slowing down to plan actually speeds up execution.
That's a great insight. As we wrap up, what's the one thing you'd want listeners to take away about where we are in the AI enterprise landscape right now, especially heading into 2026?
The window for thoughtful AI implementation is closing. 2026 isn't far away, and the EU AI Act enforcement is real. Organizations that start building compliant, sophisticated AI systems now, that architect for both autonomy and governance, will be the ones competing effectively a year from now. This isn't optional anymore. It's fundamental to enterprise strategy.
And for folks listening who want to dive deeper into how to actually build these systems, how to navigate compliance, and what frameworks like AI lead architecture look like in practice, we've got the full article on AetherLink.ai. It's called Generative AI Enterprise Insights and Automation Amsterdam 2026, and it goes deep into the practical strategies, real-world examples, and the compliance landscape.
Definitely check it out. There's a lot more there about specific use cases, implementation patterns, and how enterprises of different sizes can approach this.
Sam, thanks for breaking this down. This is clearly a critical moment for European enterprises. Listeners, thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Alex. Great conversation.